What made you lose respect for someone? Shoplifting. When I was in 6th grade, I was hanging out with some kid I thought was a friend. We went into a 7-Eleven, I bought a soda, and he stole some candy. He showed it to me as we were walking out. I freaked out, because he just placed me in danger without my knowledge or consent. I saw someone put milk in the bowl before the cereal. Former direct supervisor, 2 things. 1. Around Labor Day, the US, first Monday in September. My vacation was cancelled due to a hurricane in Florida. So, I spend an afternoon catching up on writing reports for work. I'm logged into our network remotely. An email pops up from him. For background, when a certain thing occurs, we have to make 2 entries into a database and other people have to act on it. Well, the email was forwarded from one of the people who have to do the acting saying I wasn't making one of the entries. I was. This is easily verifiable. I checked to see if maybe I was doing something wrong and the entries weren't taking, they were. He didn't bother to check. 2. Around January 10th, I get sick with a bad cold, which hung around till about February 15th. On the last Monday in January, I wake up and have trouble staying standing because I am getting dizzy. I take a shower, have to keep sitting down because I am afraid I am going to fall over. After I get out, I wrap a towel around my hair, and the next thing I know, I'm lying on the floor, don't remember falling. I lie down for a while, and I'm good to go to work. The next day, I leave work early, sick. Send an email to him, his boss, and his boss's boss. Boss's boss replies, okay, noting in Outlook, feel better. Direct supervisor replies, work on your late reports. True, I have late reports, because I can barely get through the day and come home and fall into bed. He has to know I'm sick because everyone heard me coughing for weeks. In addition, I sit close enough to his office to hear everything he says. I know his date of birth because for some reason he tells callers this regularly. These are the last in a long line of things he did, starting even before he was my supervisor. People wondered why I wouldn't sign a card for him when he retired. Where I live, in America, when I found out someone voted for and supported Trump. For me it wasn't about politics, it was always about morals and values. I will never respect anyone who was okay with him and the attack on democracy and common decency he brought to the presidency. I had a friend to whom I gave a ride home on my bicycle almost every day for months after school, as he and I lived in the same building and I had known him for a decade. I gave him rides home even during rain and even when I had flat tires. I didn't report him to the teachers when he didn't have a proper haircut, even though I was a prefect and it was my job to report students who didn't have proper haircuts or uniforms. I had even given him my projects and notebooks to copy from multiple times throughout the years. One day when he had brought a bicycle and I hadn't, I asked him to give me a lift home and he said okay, but as soon as I was about to sit he just pedaled away at full speed and didn't stop even when I called out after him. When I finally got home by walking for a full half hour with a school bag that weighed more than 10 kilograms, yes, this does happen in my country, I asked him why did he do that, and he said, remember that one time you accidentally made me lose a practice match in Clash Royale 3 years ago. This was revenge for that. One of my friends once dropped a huge bag of pills on the dance floor while I was talking to him. We both immediately got thrown out of the club by the bouncers, who saw it happen. Fortunately they didn't immediately call the police. I didn't even realize he was dealing drugs, but by doing this he could have landed both of us in jail. I never spoke to him again. I learned that my youngest paternal uncle repeatedly molested my mother after she got married to my father and after I was born. He is still unmarried and had multiple affairs in the years when I was growing up. He used to bring them home. We were then a joint family, calling them as his co-worker who needed help with a topic for passing a government job exam. I remember visions from my childhood when I couldn't even walk or talk. He used to bang open the door when my mom used to change and tried to touch her inappropriately. This got confirmed by my mother 3 years back. She used to tell this to my father, who used to be away for work in another state. He warned him several times but took no action against him cause according to him, that would tarnish the reputation of the entire family, as if your wife's respect is nothing compared to your family's. Also my mother is so manipulated and so nice that she forgave him and doesn't plan to press charges against that bastard. Also, he used my father's Gmail account to sign in into YouTube to watch porn regularly. I discovered this when I was using my dad's account for watching a video, and in the history, those videos pop up. I didn't tell my dad because he would never believe me and would accuse me instead. We had a rough fight a year back and I swore that whenever I see him I will kill him without any regrets and would be ready for the handcuffs. But just because I love and respect my mother, she made me swear that I won't do anything to him. God damn it, I feel frustrated to live with this information without being able to do anything. And even if I tell the police about it now, there will be no substantial proof that proves him guilty because it happened many years back, and I'm pretty sure that my male genital of a father would take his side instead of my mother. It's just the four of us who know this and no one else does. If there's anyone who is reading this and has some fair knowledge about criminal law, feel free to suggest a way out. I could really use some help. Stepdad left after some issues and tried to turn everyone against my mom, even harassing her online. Eventually found out years later that he actually had an affair before all that happened. Memories of catching him looking at photos of women and chatting with someone resurfaced and everything just clicked together. So yeah, I've resented him ever since, especially because of how self-righteous he would act. Cut off all ties with him as well. They don't know this, but I know of their affair. Nobody in a committed relationship deserves that. When the MF I loved gave me herpes then ghosted me like he didn't just have a MF fall for him. When someone I thought was smart told me she's not getting vaccinated because she's healthy and the majority of people recover from COVID. I have no respect for that kind of selfishness and foolishness. What has made me lose respect for people? Well, my story is my stepmother. She used to be kind-hearted until her own narcissistic behavior took over. Then we started having fights. She tried controlling me, forcing me to clean and all that, but I never changed who I was. I never will change who I am for the way I am. I accept who I am, but that's not important. What is important is to get respect. You must give respect and show kindness to everyone, no matter how disrespectful the person can be. Must stay calm in the most stressful of situations and never go to bed or to work angry. Leave your frustrations at home or talk to someone in a respectful manner. Finding out they're a rabid trumper. Still. So there was this guy that I met, let's just call him Mike. We were friends for quite a while, we did a lot of stuff together. I befriended another person. Apparently Mike was enemies with the person that I befriended and we had a massive argument. We stopped talking for months. I lost all respect for him. We are on good terms now, but I still have little respect for him. My mother was on the verge of losing my respect. Let's just say she is entitled, manipulative, and finds no fault in herself. When I was in a big argument with her, she repeatedly yelled that she hated me over and over like a teenager. I was 12. I have no contact with her anymore despite her best efforts to try and talk to me. On top of no contact, I have had zero respect ever since I was 12. Someone in school once said that non-binary is a trend and only appeared because gender roles are no longer clearly communicated. They then added that if they had a transgender child, they wouldn't allow them to transition, because they would be too count to decide about something like that. Crossed them off the list of who I want to come out to very quickly. I work with this old dude who has to follow the book by the letter no matter how innocuous, redundant or stupid the rules may be. He is in constant contact with the supervisor ratting people out for this and that. If the book says you aren't allowed to say the word and while working at a station he will make sure you don't say the word and without question because it's a rule. Yet after every shift there is a big line of people waiting at the clock to punch out. They are all waiting for the clock to say 6 and then it's a crowd all clocking out. This dude finds anyone he knows and just stands next to them in line. He doesn't walk to the back like the rest of us. Perhaps it's because it isn't a written rule that you should go to the back of the F-king line, but for someone who is so hell-bent on following the rules, you'd think someone would have taught him about lines in his lifetime. And how not walking to the back is called cutting, and nobody likes line cutters. Annoying to see the world's biggest proponent of following the rules breaks a common rule of etiquette every single day.